This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man? Louie T, welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 14 in the National Football League. Denver Broncos at home taking on the Buffalo Bills. Tough defensive football team looking to try to steal one on the road and remain relevant in the AFC wildcard chase. They're not going to win the AFC East. Bills know that by now. They've got to take care of business and try to find a way into the back door of the postseason. If you're Denver, you're a team right now looking to try to get that number one seed. It's important. It's imperative. And you're trying to change your identity right now. So in case you got to go to Foxborough, you'll be able to run the football, play some defense, and see if you can't come out with a W. The last time you went there, last time you went on the road to St. Louis, it was ugly, and so things have changed since then. You've realized that we can't throw the football 56 times. Can't do that. Got to be more balanced on the offensive side of the football. If things don't go well in the passing game, we need to be able to turn around, hand the football off, and have success and win football games that way while still playing some dominant defense. So we all know the story. We all know the mantra. If you can pack a defense and a run game, you can win anywhere in this league. And the Denver Broncos have been trying to adopt that identity moving forward. And we all know Peyton Manning can light it up with the best of them if given the opportunity. But the thing we haven't seen enough from this Denver Broncos team is the ability to run the football. The last 2 weeks, that's exactly what we've seen from this team. So if you're the Buffalo Bills, really don't know what to expect in this game. But the Bills play some top-notch defense, force turnovers, so they've got a shot in Mile High. Let's talk about this game. 7-5 Bills taking on the 9-3 Denver Broncos. Samuel Watkins fumbles on the opening possession. Doesn't sting as the Broncos actually go backwards, but if you're Buffalo, that's the one thing you can't come and do in Denver. You're already behind the 8 ball. Broncos haven't lost at home all season long, have been really strong at home as a matter of fact. The one thing you cannot do is come into somebody else's house and mess around and turn the football over. If you're looking to steal one, you need to play some damn near flawless football. That's not my definition of flawless football, turning it over on the opening possession. Bills get ballsy on 4th down, but don't convert. And the Bills strike me as a team that, look, I'm here to roll the dice, kiss it, hope it comes out nice. I love it. Scare money don't make money. You know how I feel about that. But the thing that the Bills really annoy me with is when it's 4th and 3, 4th and 4. I think this was a 4th and 6 situation. They're looking to throw it 30 yards down the field. I'm like, can you just get the first down? My goodness. It's one thing to go for it on 4th down, and it's another thing to go for the gusto. I'm going for the home run. You just need a single here, man. I'm not asking for you to knock it over the fence. I just want you to get a single and drive home. I'm just looking for an RBI. You're looking for a grand slam. Look, man, just pick up the first down. Kyle Orton throws it about 20 yards down the field, incomplete. What are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? Come on, just pick up the first down. So I like the decision. Again, like you rolling the dice, man. I don't have a problem with that. Let's be smart about it, though. Let's make sure that we're not doing too much. That's all I'm saying. So they don't pick it up, and Denver makes them pay. So you want to roll the dice, you want to kiss the dice, hope it comes up nice, but it doesn't. Snake eyes. Okay, you got to pay for that. And so the Denver Broncos move it down the field, Welker for 38 yards, then you get a penalty on Roby. And then next thing you know, C.J. Anderson in the end zone, touchdown, 7-0 Denver Broncos. Just like that, you're behind in this game. Something that you didn't really want to find yourself doing is trying to come back from behind. But it's only 7-0. It's not like it's 14-0. Not like it's 21-3 or anything like that, right? Right? So you're fine, right? Then we go to the second quarter. Buffalo gets on the board with a 44-yard Dan Carpenter field goal. 7-3, Denver still out on top. Peyton is picked off by Corey Graham. Has a hell of a return, a stellar return on the interception, only to have it called back because of a holding penalty on Kyle Williams. And so I thought the Buffalo Bills made too many mistakes in this game. And turnovers, more turnovers than you can afford to have against the Denver Broncos team on the road. Too many penalties, some costly ones. Every time you did something extremely well in this game, there was something boneheaded that followed shortly thereafter. And this was a prime example. Great interception by Corey Graham on a deep ball. Picks it off, timed his jump beautifully, picks it off, runs. I mean, I'm talking about we're deep in Denver territory after this magnificent return. Only to have Kyle Williams have it come all the way back essentially because of a holding penalty. I mean, you don't get to take advantage of the full opportunity that's given to you because you have a penalty. And so you don't get anything out of that. Then C.J. Anderson scores after you have another costly penalty on the possession that extends the drive on the third down. They would have had to settle for a field goal. Instead, they keep the football. They get in the end zone. Now it's 14-3. These mistakes are killing you in this game. But I will say this much. The Bills were hitting in this game. I mean, they were laying the wood in this game. I mean, guys were getting hit. This reminded me of when Denver went to St. Louis and got their blocks knocked off in that game. And there were a couple of guys I was like, man, you gonna be all right? Like, I was like, hey, I would appreciate it. I asked the Bills nicely. I'd appreciate it if you didn't hit West. You know, you want to hit Jacob Tammy, which you did. I'm about to talk about that here in a second. You want to hit Emmanuel Sanders, knock your socks off. You want to hit double A Demaryius Thomas, go right ahead. Don't hit West. We know his concussion history. I don't want to see that man on the ground laid out. I don't know if West can afford any more of those. I'd appreciate it if you left West alone. And they say, hey, if you ask nicely, I'll see what I can do. I can't promise you anything. I'll see what I can do. I said, hey, look, all I can do is ask you to just keep an eye out for West. That's it. They say, hey, we got you, man. We'll see what we can do. But Jacob Tammy, hey, he's all yours. All bets are off. You see 84 running down the field, knock yourself out. They saw Jacob Tammy right before the half. Denver looking to put this game potentially away before we get to the second half. And Jacob Tammy takes a shot from Duke Williams. Uh-oh. SpaghettiOs football comes out. Yum, yum, eat them up. Yum, yum, yum. Give me them cookies, boy. You don't know what to do with that, man. Give me the football, man. So the ball comes out, and that was a huge turnover because if the Bills don't generate a turnover there, I think Denver gets in the end zone before the halftime break. I think the score is 21-3. I think this game is over. But that turnover there gave them life as we head into the halftime break, 14-3. Juwan Thompson gets a 47-yard run. And if you're Buffalo, don't let these unsung heroes get you. No. I mean, the one guy that you should have been afraid of in this game was Peyton Manning. And you shut Peyton Manning down. But you let the supporting cast get you. You let the C.J. Andersons get you. You let the Juwan Thompsons get you. No. Don't let those guys be the heroes. And that's what they were. 47-yarder gets down to the 3-yard line. C.J. Anderson finishes off the drive with another touchdown. It's 21-3 now. Just like that. And so now you're in a hole. 21-3 is exactly what you couldn't afford to do on the road. Then the teams get sloppy. They exchange interceptions. First, Brandon Marshall picks off Orton. You're on a drive. You're looking to get some points. You're already in field goal range. You're thinking to yourself, hey, why can't we get a touchdown here? Samuel Watkins had a big day, over 100 yards. You're thinking to yourself, hey, we need to get in the end zone. And Kyle Orton throws a bad interception. Brandon Marshall picks him off. But now, look, the Bills defensively gave you a shot in this game. Denver's looking for some more points to try to really put this thing on ice. And Stephon Gilmore says, not right now, you're not. Picks Peyton Manning off, gets another return. What do? Another penalty on the return. Bring it back. And so Bills driving down again to get in the end zone. And I'm talking about they really are threatening to get in the end zone this time. Kyle Orton testing one of the best corners in the league, Chris Harris Jr., picks him off in the end zone, leads to a field goal. It's now 24-3. That's all she wrote, my friends, right there. I mean, if you're Buffalo, you couldn't afford to fall behind 17-3, 21-3, let alone 24-3. You're not built like that to come back on the road. They make it interesting late, scored 2 touchdowns, including 1 touchdown with less than a minute to go. Got to attempt the onside kick. It was a terrible onside kick. They never had a chance. And so the Denver Broncos hold on 24-17 in this game. Never really was that close. And, the ending score is very misleading. The Denver Broncos dominated this game. And it's really because the Bills just made too many mistakes. I mean, the Bills had 3 turnovers, all 3 of them Kyle Orton interceptions. They had a fumble by Samuel Watkins, so that's 4 turnovers. Some very costly penalties that either extended Denver Broncos drives or called back returns on interceptions. They just made too many mistakes to survive in a place like Denver. They had to lose this game, and so they did. They dropped to 7-6 through the Bills. They're not out of it, but it's going to be tough. Again, I talked about a lot of those losses that they suffered earlier in the season coming back to haunt them. Their conference record isn't strong enough for them to win tiebreakers when it's all said and done. You lose to Kansas City, you lose to San Diego, you lose to New England, you lose to Miami, you lose to Denver. All AFC opponents, when they start talking tiebreakers, the first thing they look at is conference records, and your conference record not strong enough, your resume not strong enough. You are not going to make the postseason unless something miraculous happens in these final 3 weeks. Meanwhile, you look at the Denver Broncos. This whole transformation into a run-heavy football team is going well. The one thing I worry about, you're overusing C.J. Anderson. That's one thing you can't do with a run-starving football team is give them a new toy. They don't know how to act. They're overusing C.J. Anderson. Every week I look up, he's close to 30 carries. Had another, 20-some-odd, even pushing 30 carries in this game. Was limping a couple of times. You need to scale back his workload. And, you got some more running backs coming down the pipeline. Hopefully they can run as tough as C.J. Anderson because he's running through a lot of arm tackles and being that bruising physical back that you need him to be down the stretch. And so Peyton Manning, for the first time in a long time, no touchdown pass in this game. Give some credit to the the Buffalo Bills defense. They really forced the issue, picked Peyton Manning off 2 times in this game. But it was all about the running game. It was all about the rushing attack of this Denver Broncos team and the defense getting it done in key spots. They win the football game 24-17. Keep pace with New England for that number 1 spot in the AFC Conference at 10-3. They're waiting for New England to slip up. Don't know if it will happen, but if they do, Denver needs to be there to pounce on it. Got a huge one at home within the division versus San Diego. Got to take care of business if you are the Denver Broncos moving forward. That's going to do it for Denver Buffalo. I thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join me as I've got plenty more games to break down in week number 14 in the National Football League. See you in a bit.